Hey there, little friends. Today, I'm going to share a very old story with you, one that's full of feelings and important lessons. It's about Cain and Abel, two brothers who lived many, many years ago. This story helps us think about how important it is to manage our feelings, to be kind, and to learn from our mistakes. Are you ready for this adventure? Come along with me. A long, long time ago, when the world was young and stories seemed to be woven among the stars, the first people lived. Among them were Cain and Abel, two brothers growing up in a land filled with beauty and mystery. Cain was a man who worked the land. He loved planting seeds and watching the plants grow strong and healthy. Imagine how exciting it was to see life sprout from the soil. Abel, on the other hand, took care of the animals. His heart was with his sheep, and every day at sunrise he would lead them out to graze in the meadows. The sheep followed him with trust and affection, as if they knew Abel would always look after them. Do you guys like nature? Have you ever seen a garden or taken care of a pet? Think about that as we continue with the story. One day, both brothers had an idea to do something very special to show their love and gratitude. They wanted to share the best of what they had with God. Abel, with his kind heart, chose his best sheep, the ones that had grown healthy and strong, to offer them. Imagine the care it took to pick out your favorite little animals, the ones you look after so lovingly. Meanwhile, Cain, who had high hopes for his crops, gathered the fruits of his harvest. However, something in Cain's heart wasn't quite as bright as his brother's. When God saw the offerings, he was very pleased with Abel's sincerity and love. But for Cain, things didn't go as he had hoped. And so, inside Cain, a feeling began to grow. A feeling that sometimes, if we're not careful, can become very, very dark. Have you ever felt sad or angry when things didn't go the way you wanted? That happens to all of us. But it's important to know how to handle those feelings and talk about them. Cain felt very sad and angry. Let's imagine one of us worked really hard on something, but it wasn't appreciated. Sometimes, anger can cloud our hearts and make us think about things that aren't good. Cain kept thinking, and slowly, that anger turned into jealousy. He didn't understand why God had accepted Abel's offering and not his. And so, a seed of unhappiness was planted in his heart. Have you ever felt jealous? Remember, when we feel jealous, it's good to talk about it with someone we trust, like mom, dad, or a good friend. Cain's heart was torn between two paths, one filled with love and one filled with darkness. Without realizing it, he made a decision that would change his life and his family's forever. But the adventure doesn't have to end here. You can become an adventure messenger. How? It's easy. Just hit the share button and send this story to your friends and family. Imagine them discovering these incredible feats and characters for the first time. In a very sad moment, Cain decided to act impulsively and hurt his brother Abel. We know that sometimes, when we're full of anger and jealousy, we can make decisions that cause us a lot of pain later on. Cain did something that should never be done. He hurt someone he loved, and that filled him with sadness and regret. On that sad day, something happened that marked the beginning of great sorrow in history. It was the first act of violence between brothers, and from that moment on, Cain's life changed forever. When God realized what had happened, he was very saddened. God knew that in Cain's heart, there was still a chance to learn and change. God spoke with Cain and taught him a very important lesson. Anger and envy can lead us down dark paths, but we always have the opportunity to repent and seek forgiveness. Even though Cain had to face the consequences of his actions, his story reminds us that it's crucial to learn to recognize our mistakes, ask for forgiveness, and, above all, control those feelings that can hurt us and others. What do you think we could do when we feel angry or jealous? Think about ways to express our feelings without hurting anyone. Now, friends, it's time to think about what we can learn from this story. The value of communication. When we're sad or angry, the best thing to do is talk to someone who will listen. The power of forgiveness. We all make mistakes. The important thing is to recognize them, apologize, and learn from them so we don't repeat them. The strength of love and empathy. We must always remember that love and respect between siblings, friends, and family are what help us grow and become better people. Imagine a world where everyone helps and listens to each other. How wonderful would that be? The story of Cain and Abel, though sad, teaches us that each of us can choose the path of love and understanding. Cain had to live with the consequences of his decision, but his story is also an invitation for all of us to choose wisely. Every day is a new opportunity to do things right, to love without holding back, and to always seek forgiveness. Remember, dear friends, that feelings can be powerful, but we have the strength to transform that power into something beautiful: friendship, solidarity, and affection. If you ever feel confused or sad, remember that there's always someone willing to listen. Talk to your loved ones and together seek the light of love. Today, we've learned a big lesson through the story of Cain and Abel. Even though sad things happened in this story, the important thing is that we can all learn from them. Anger, jealousy, and sadness are emotions we all feel, but we must always look for ways to transform them into love, understanding, and kindness. I hope you enjoyed this adventure and that peace and hope will always shine in your hearts. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I'll see you for the next story full of magic, lessons, and adventures.